These are the 5 most deceptive pickleball shots that will help make your game crafty. You have to be a threat on all areas of the court, so your opponents are always timid and on edge when they hit the ball to you. The first shot is called the Kyle Yates shot. It's when we're in a cross-court dink rally for a while and our opponent in front of us isn't expecting the pattern to change. And then we flip and hit the ball down the line. It catches people way off guard. The main thing we want to focus on is keeping our body language and form of a backhand dink the exact same. If this is my form, I want it to look as relaxed as my normal form. When people go to hit this shot, they tend to get jumpy and tighten up their movements. Secondly, all this shot is a forehand on the opposite side of your body. So instead of this, I'm just hitting a forehand from here. Next, we have to get comfortable with this movement. This drop down is key. It might feel a little uncomfortable on your wrist, which is why you should practice it. To put it all together, it looks like this. I love this shot because depending on where your opponents are, you can either go down the line or to the middle. I like to save this shot and only use it like once or twice a game in key moments. So I normally wait till the end of the game to catch everybody off guard. The second shot we're gonna do is also for cross-court dinking. It's when our wrist is cupped, so it looks like we're going that way. However, right when we're about to hit the ball, we release our wrist straight and it's gonna go down the line. This shot's great because you can do it on both forehand and backhand. The trick to this shot is to sell it with your body weight. If I forehand dink like this, I want to keep this same shoulder and weight movement when I hit the shot. So let's pretend I'm about to hit the shot. I want to hit it so my weight's going this way, but the ball's going that way. Same exact thing with my backhand. This is my dink. This is my dink. I want to down the line, but my shoulder and weight is going this way. If you're struggling with getting the backhand to go down the line, the best way to think of it is like you're at the gym doing a row. You want to pull with your elbow and your lat and your shoulder like this. It's not a wrist movement. It's all elbow, shoulder, lat, like this. The forehand form in slow-mo is like this. It's all wrist into a swipe. So like this. That swipe is what's going to pull the ball to go down the line. The third deceptive shot we're going to cover is when there's a dead dink to the center of the court. This ball is a very dangerous ball for your opponents. The reason is we have so many options to choose from. I can speed it up this way, down the middle, this way. I can dink it. I can try to body bag them. They have to be super on edge about this ball. Remember, pickleball is like a chess match, especially in tournaments. Each individual point that you play builds upon itself as you get later in the match. Meaning if I get that middle dink and I just flip it back right over the net, if I do that 3 times, the 4th time there's a middle dink there, my opponents are gonna expect me just to flip it right back over. So this shot takes some setting up to do. So let's pretend the match just started. I'm dinking with Francesca. She gives me that middle dink. I just flip it right back over, okay? Then it's later in the match. We're dinking. I get a ball to the middle. Give me a ball to the middle. I'm going to hold it and throw it out wide, which with my body weight, it looks like I'm going towards the center because that's what my opponents are accustomed to. Here's another look at it. The key to trick our opponents on this is when we get that middle dink, we don't want to rush to hit it. We want to pause behind it as long as possible before we hit it. So we're going to hold, and that's going to make them frantic on which way to guess. And since the whole match we're going middle, they might take that step or shift their body weight. We get them out wide, and it's a winner. Here's a real-time example so you can see how my form looks identical to confuse my opponent. The fourth shot we're going to go over is my personal favorite, and I like to say it's my signature shot. If you can execute it properly, it fools everyone. It's when we're cross-court dinking and we get a slightly aggressive ball from our opponents. Instead of taking a normal backhand, we're going to run around it and hit a big inside-out forehand. This works so well because if you're good at speeding up off the bounce, which I like to do in matches, when you run around this ball, your opponents are thinking you can speed it up down the line, middle, or hit inside out. There's too many options. This shot's so effective because look at all of the options my opponents have to assess and deal with. Here's the second option I have. Here's the third option. That's a cross-court body bag. I'm trying to hit the person and almost make the ball pass through them. Let's pretend I'm Francesca here. I hit a good dink. I see my opponent running around the ball. My thought process is I have to cover middle. So I'm going to shift this way, and then a ball's coming at me super fast at my body. All I can do is react, and it's a free point for the other person. Now, the actual shot, which is the option that I use the most. Use these shots as you like. Just know they work better if you set them up throughout the match. Meaning I run around it, I speed up at the guy, I run around it, I dink it, I run around it inside out. Make them guess. Just know you can never move around too much at the kitchen line. Whenever I have the opportunity to run around a ball, I always do. Even if I run around it to dink it normal. It really confuses your opponent when you're moving around. I get a lot of messages about which gear I use. In the description below, I put a link to my paddle, the lead tape, and my shoes. The fifth and final shot of Ultimate Deception is a two-hand backhand down the line, but where you fade away with your body. This shot is insane. There is a prerequisite you need to have to use this shot. You have to be able to dink with two hands. If you only dink with one hand, then randomly you throw on two, your opponents know it's coming. I've incorporated into my game having a strong two-hand backhand dink, so it allows me to speed the ball up without them knowing. This shot, just like the others, gets set up by having variety in your game. By me being able to speed up middle, it's going to make my opponent lean middle if I start the match with the speed up that way. When I use that shot, it allows me to fade with this shot. And my opponent really has no idea where it's going. Got two hands on the paddle, Ultimate Deception, and I have the body weight going this way. So I could pull it middle or down the line. Check out the way my form looks. It should look identical, whether I go middle or line. Start practicing these shots and incorporating them into your game. Normally in tournament play, everybody is tight and nervous, so they just play very robotic. If you can get loose and incorporate these almost trick shots into your game, you're going to have a leg up on your competition.